One of the other strategies that we can employ to improve brain health, hormone health, and metabolic health is fasting. Fasting has grabbed a lot of attention lately, so we really need to ask, what is fasting? What are the benefits of fasting, and how do we employ it? Fasting technically doesn't happen until we get into a place of energy deficit. One of the most popular things we've been hearing about lately is something called intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting isn't technically fasting. It would probably be better termed time-restricted eating. But what we're trying to do with the time-restricted eating strategy is get into a state of metabolic flexibility. So within about 4 hours, we've run through our glucose stores, and that's the time when we need to be able to switch into burning fats. If we aren't able to do that transition seamlessly, we hit a place where we feel the effects of hypoglycemia. Really strong food cravings. Some people get even shaky, you get angry, you get anxious. So that's what we're trying to train our body not to do. And one of the best ways that we can train the body not to do that is really to start pushing into that place by having longer and longer periods where we go without food. The easiest way to do this is to start prolonging our nighttime fasted period. A lot of people will eat right up until they go to sleep and then get up and eat again. And so there's only about an 8-hour window of not eating. What we can do is start pushing our last meal back further and further and further. And so we start to extend that period without food into a 10-hour window, into a 12-hour window, into a 14-hour window, all the way up to a 16-hour window of not eating. There is a caveat that I want to point out here. A lot of people will use skipping breakfast as a way to do intermittent fasting. This may work for a short period of time, but long term, what you tend to see is a lot of hormone dysregulation when you start skipping breakfast. So I don't recommend creating your fasting window by skipping a breakfast. It's more difficult, but it's much more effective to restrict your eating window at the end of the day. Again, going back to energy metabolism hormones, it's important to understand that when your leptin levels are low in the morning, it is really important to signal your brain that you're not in a state of starvation within an hour of waking. So when we choose to skip breakfast, although that may work for the short term, long-term wise, we tend to drive ourselves into a place where our brain starts to think that we're in starvation, and it tends to go into a state of conservation and downregulate all our hormonal processes. So I think that because intermittent fasting has become so popular, it's really important to understand that there is a right way and a wrong way to do it. There's a way that will promote health, and there's a way that will drive the disordered processes even deeper.